This is Bernard Schoenburg, and we've been watching election results all night, and like the rest of Illinois, we don't yet know who's going to be running the state next year. Ryan Keith is the Statehouse Bureau Chief for State Journal-Register and Gatehouse newspapers. And Ryan, why don't you just take off a little on the races for governor that had perhaps not necessarily unexpected results, at least on the Democratic side, but they're awfully close.
Yeah, I think for the first time in many years, we have two races for governor that are basically dead heats. You have Dan Hines and Pat Quinn, who are now at 50-50 as it stands right now. Quinn has a lead of about 5,000 votes with like 1% of precincts left. And on the Republican side, you've got Dillard, Kirk Dillard, state senator from the Chicago suburbs, neck and neck with Bill Brady. Bill Brady has a lead of about 1,800 votes, something like that. So super close. All sides at this point indicate they're going to fight. They're going to go down to the wire here, recount votes, maybe absentee ballots. I think we're looking in store for a long process.
Yeah, I think one thing that should be noted is under some of the new election laws that came about after that really close vote for president in the year 2000 and all the recount that was going on in Florida, is that people can vote early now. You don't have to have an excuse to vote absentee. But in addition to that, absentee ballots that are mailed by the day before the election can be counted if they're received in the election offices across the state within 2 weeks. There's something called provisional ballots. If you show up at a polling place and your credentials are not in order, they don't have a record of you, and you say, I'm sure I'm registered, you can vote anyway, and then within 48 hours you can go into that office and prove that you could vote. So in as big a state as this is, obviously that's the kind of thing that's giving Dan Hines, for example, the confidence to say, we want to wait till every vote is counted, even though, as we noted watching TV out of Chicago, that Pat Quinn basically said, I won because I think if you win by one vote, it's a landslide. But again, these are not final results yet. So, on we go. And what does this do to it's going to be interesting. Wednesday, today, the Republicans are getting together in Chicago for a unity breakfast. Bill Brady of Bloomington he ran for governor in 2004. I think he placed third in a big field. And this time there were 7 candidates for governor, and then it was pared down to 6 just in recent days when Bob Schillerstrom dropped out. But there were 6 Republican candidates for governor. That is just an odd system because you can win with something like 20% of the vote.
Yeah. I think going into today, me and probably a whole lot of other people would not have put Brady maybe even in the top 3. It would probably have been Kirk Dillard, Andy McKenna, and Jim Ryan. And then Brady just kind of crept up there, and then by the end of the night, he's ahead.
All along he was saying he's building his base downstate. All of those other people, even though like Adam Andrzejewski, who I guess scored better than some thought, getting in at least the double digits, said he was from Herscher near Kankakee, but he lives in the suburbs. They all lived in the Chicago area or suburbs except Brady. So it did work out as Brady was hoping all along with the downstate county chairman. He also got some support in some of the townships around Chicago as well because of his very conservative message. That message being in part that he wants a 10% cut across the board in state government to start things. He wants to cut like $1 billion in taxes as well. But we've already got a $10 billion budget hole. Is that a message that can resonate? He says he did that kind of thing with his business, deconstruct it, reconstruct it. State government has to go through that. Can that happen? And as a Democrat, either Hines or Quinn running against him saying we've got to raise the income tax to keep services at a level to serve the people necessary, any ideas where that goes? If he can sell that in Illinois in the age of Tea parties on the one hand, but the state that sent Barack Obama to the White House on the other.
Yeah, I'm curious to see how unified Republicans get behind a Bill Brady versus maybe a Kirk Dillard or even Andy McKenna to some extent, because how he sells in the Chicago area, which obviously Democrats have a pretty strong hold on that come the general election, but you do need votes. You need to do well in that area. Can Bill Brady do that? And that's, in an election where Republicans thought they really had a good shot, will they still feel like they really have a good shot at this seat or not? That's what remains to be seen as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah. One of the other things one of the other things that we should mention, at least, is that Kirk Dillard, in talking, state senator from Hinsdale, in talking to his supporters, said that with the last precincts coming in, we look at those numbers, we think we're going to win by the time this is over. So while we're talking about Brady as the winner, and Brady was acting like a winner, as you know, in the wee hours of the morning already, the final vote on the Republican side as well as the Democratic side has yet to be determined.
Yeah, and all these candidates, they put a lot of money, time, effort. They're not going to go away quietly. I wouldn't even be surprised if an Andy McKenna, tries to get his way. He's 10,000 or so votes back. He's got a long road to haul there, but, who knows?
Well, after spending a couple or a few $1 million on advertisements, what's a little bit more for lawyers to run a recount?